Thank y'all for listening 100%, like seriously. But share the pod, bro. Like, this is not a monogamous relationship. Stop trying to keep me to yourself. Share me. Share me. This is not monogamous. Please go ahead and put your homegirl on to Juxtaposition Podcast. Put your homeboy on.
Yes.
Do what you got to do.
Community box. We are community.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
The Juxtaposition Podcast. If you was around New Jersey, between New Jersey and Atlanta from 2008, shit, to now, you know what time that was. You know what time that was.
07.
Nah, you're right. That was the time. But let's get into it. Welcome to episode 40 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Starting Five, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka Four Heartbeats and Impossible. I'm your host, Varsinio Hall. Man, I'm happy to be back.
You like that?
I do. I actually do.
Okay.
It started out as like, all right, I see what's going on, but then it kind of just continued, and now we're here.
Okay.
Now we're here. We got Chef in the building. What's going on, brother?
Chilling. What's happening? What's going on? How y'all feeling today?
All is well, man. I can't complain, but I'll choose not to.
No one's listening.
Not at all. CEO, what's good, bro?
What's good in the hood, my brother?
This cup is nice.
Same old.
And the man straight from the tropical islands, straight from the vacation. He still got sand on his shoulder. You see it? You see it?
The man himself.
Right. Let me get this situation going for him.
Nah. Good times, though, man. I'm good to be back. Had a good time, relaxing time, but good to be back though.
Yeah, man. What do they say? Back stateside? That's what they say.
Stateside, yeah. Use a lot of chapsticks. I forgot to put sunscreen and chapstick while I was out there. Burnt the shit out my bottom lip.
Damn. That sucks. That's like an odd thing. Like,
when did you realize your bottom lip was burnt? Like, what is the realization there? You start licking it like, oh shit.
Nah, my shit started like cracking on one side. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like every little thing on it would just like hurt.
That usually happens in the wintertime.
Yeah, that frostbite type shit.
Burnt the shit out my lip. I'm like, how did just like my bottom lip? My shit wasn't poking out that much.
That was cool.
But it was a good time though, nonetheless. After a couple drinks, you don't even notice it anymore.
I believe that. I believe that. Millions of people who have said that in the years past. We did miss you at the live show. We had a really great time recording in person last week. We had a really great response.
Yeah, I missed that.
So yeah, man. So next time I'm in town, we can get Chef to come down, get Cleveland to fly back out. Well, not fly out, but he'll be able to drive, but soon have to fly out in order to make that happen. Isn't this crazy? We all gonna be on different sides of the country. We are now, but like it's getting
seriously, the time zone's gonna be all jacked up, right?
Worse, so to speak.
Time zone gonna be crazy.
Better, actually,
3 different time zones.
It's more range, more.
That's a fact. We could have a regional correspondence. Like what you got going on in your neck of the woods, like Al Roker? So
pull up to my city.
I mean, we can rotate it, but like I mentioned before, this is episode 40, and we are here to amplify the voice of the modern black man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, yo. We are 40 episodes in. Like, you think about it, that's a while. It's not easy to do, to show up 40 weeks back to back, giving an hour plus, an hour 15, an hour 30 minutes of content. And to me, I think it's great. So how do y'all feel approaching 40 episodes?
That's great. That's almost a year. You know what I mean? Like, we're much closer to a year than we are from when we started. So you know, that's effort, that's time that we put in, but it's enjoyable. You know, we come together once a week, able to just shoot the breeze, if you will.
Right.
Don't want to get at me for my terminology for saying shoot the breeze. I was trying to find a way not to curse.
You was just in the breeze, so it's all good.
But no, I think it's great. And then, like, you know, I wear my sweater often outside, so I try to engage people with it, to let them know kind of what we're doing and try to get as many people to listen. So I think it's a great thing, and I think just continue, and things gonna happen.
It went by fast, and we took time off, so we really could be like,
our 1 year is approaching soon.
Yeah, but to think we took a little break, like
we took a little winter
50 plus mark, sooner. But I will say this: I feel good that we're doing a podcast. I love that we're doing it. I love our content. I love our fans. I love our supporters. That I get a lot of texts and messages, inbox, whatever. Keep doing what y'all doing. I love what y'all doing. I have one problem. Everyone is loving us and telling us we should continue, and they ain't fucking listening to the damn episodes. I need y'all to listen. How you gonna tell me you happy and you ain't heard? Like, that don't even make no sense. I appreciate you happy you saw a clip. Cool. Appreciate it. But I need y'all, Juxtas League and others, pass it along and listen. I don't care if you listen for 10, 15 minutes just to get us what's the quota to require a full listen?
I think it's like 10 minutes.
We need the stats.
I see all the back end stuff. I see what it's like.
Give us a 11:05. You know what I'm saying? And get to at least those knows. And then
See, the good thing about this is two things about listening to the podcast and the way you can do it. So one, whenever you're driving or if you have a commute, listen then. And then two, you can always you can speed it up like one and a half times.
Yes.
Where the clarity is still great.
And you get everything. You get everything when you speed it up. Yep.
Correct. Yep. But you just speed it up a little bit and it won't take as long to listen to it. We put timestamps in every episode. You can go right to the main point if you want. So my number one point that I wanted to share is that thank y'all for listening 100%, like seriously, but share the pod, bro. Like, this is not a monogamous relationship. Stop trying to keep me to yourself. Share me. This is not monogamous. Please go ahead and put your homegirl on to Juxtaposition Podcast. Put your homeboy on.
Yes.
Do what you got to do.
Community box. We are community.
Community pod. We're a community pod.
Right. Yes. Community pod. Right.
Wow, boy, man.
Online being passed around.
Man. Pass us, man. What you got going on? Speaking of pass us,
like we used to do.
Yeah, pass the pod. Ain't nothing but a link. So let's get into our question of the week. Before I intro the question of the week, happy birthday to Pulpit Poppy, man. Today is his birthday.
Oh, straight up.
Not today, but his birthday will be, by the time they hear this episode, he would have had his birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday to Pulpit Poppy, man. Important part to the pod. So we love you, bro. We just want to make sure we send you those, that love. So
happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. But I want y'all to know that this podcast would be successful if us four can articulate when and where we got our confidence from. What point, where it came from, when it was more strengthened, what aspects helped us to get there. So with that said, the question of the week is, who was your first crush? Your first crush. And I know y'all know who it was. Mine wasn't a real person. Mine was on TV.
Nah, mine was mine. I forgot her name though. This was in like my first real crush was in 7th grade.
That's late.
It was, but like I had like a crush, but I'm talking about. But this was like someone was like obviously not gonna happen because she was my teacher.
Oh, so, you been shooting for the stars,
bro.
I mean, you just at the wrong
I even
school.
told Jess about this. I'm like, yo, this lady, man,
this lady,
bro. I forgot her name.
You was in Passaic too, so it was probably bad too.
Yo, I don't want to. I was gonna say the ethnicity and everything, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, that's just.
But me and with my boy, he so it was like I guess it was called language arts. It was like English class, but it was called language arts. And she had made us write in journals, like just to kind of practice writing things like that.
Oh, this is the birth. This is the birth of Tilthead James. This is the birth.
Nah, this wasn't even me. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
She was reading them, so I wouldn't write
Okay.
Anything, but he wrote how she, I think she's so pretty and blah blah blah, this and that, and she read it, and I got jealous because she commented like, "Oh, I'm flattered." I'm like, "Oh, this is bullshit, man."
He got my girl.
I'm like, bro, word up. I'm like,
he got my girl.
Bullshit. But nah, she was anybody from Pacific, I feel like they know who I'm talking about. Language arts teacher, number 4 school.
Shout her out, man. Maybe she's listening.
I cannot remember her name. I can't remember her name. I know she's not listening. But of course, I had in like 3rd grade, it was a little crush when I was playing not 3rd grade, 4th grade. I was playing the Prince in Cinderella. Had a little crush on the girl who plays Cinderella.
I mean, that's valid. Y'all was castmates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A little intimate. I get that. So how about you? Who was your first crush?
I don't remember the person. I want to say the girl's name was Jazz, but I was in like 2nd grade. This one, we was living in like Jersey City, and I was in like a private school, and it was weird because there was a girl that, according to my mother, there was a girl sitting next to me in the class, and I just like leaned over and kissed her.
Yo, you've been community box. He been community box for a minute.
Listen, Linda. So apparently, they made a big deal about it, which thank God, because today I probably would have got arrested at like 6, right? In today's world, right?
Right.
But at that time, they made a big deal. They called my mom. The lady started getting all offended, talking all greasy. And then my mom was like, "You better be lucky. This is gonna be the last time a guy that good looking gonna kiss that ugly ass girl." You're like,
"Hey,
so you already know, right?" So that was crazy because that wasn't the girl that I crushed. I thought that maybe if she saw me like do that, it would be like, yeah, like, oh, I'm interested.
Those rules work in college. They don't work when you're in 2nd grade.
But wait, did you hear what Bill said? He was like, I leaned over and kissed the girl. Parents got all mad or whatever.
I'm saying, how you getting tight? I'm like 6 years old.
You see me?
6. You gotta let that go. Like,
you see me, and Zoe had the bow tie. Zoe had the bow tie at 6.
Bow tie and suspenders.
Word up, looking like the fruit of Islam.
Chef, what about you? What was your first crush?
Y'all gonna clown me though. It's not gonna sound normal, but it was my mother, and I'm thinking about
Oedipus Rex.
Yeah, that's the Oedipus complex.
Yeah, it was my mother up until like
that's actually normal. It's very normal. 7.
Okay. Super protective, like get off my mom.
Yeah, and I was trying to think whether it was anybody in particular, like growing up, even in like elementary school, that I felt like I liked. There was a couple, it was weird. I was really weird kid growing up because this is gonna sound wild and crazy, but I was always shy, right? I was always shy. Like I'm a very shy person until you get to know me, until you let me crack. Once you let me get in, then it's like cool.
I didn't catch that for. I'm like, wait.
Not crack. Okay. Once you crack the door to allow me in, the dynamic of friendship, then I open myself up and people get to learn me. But it was my shyness was always like I'm about to give my secrets away. Okay. My shyness was what had most of other opposite sex kids like me, because I was always a shy, quiet kid. And
who's he?
I always was a shy, quiet kid, and up until sports, up until 6th grade, 5th grade, I was athletic. Back then, I was like, okay, I'm athletic, and I became like, so I never really voiced a crush up until like my sophomore year, which is probably like my freshman year, which I told told G about this. I was like, the 5 freshman class, there was like 5 of us that came in. We were like, kind of like all came in for basketball. So it was like, we were like the best 5, top 5 freshmen, right? Whatever like that. So it was like, we all had to have a partner. I think about it's funny, right?
Yep, a baddie.
Yeah. So they all had their options, whatever. They all moved with what they moved, got what they got. Messed with who they was dealing with. And the person I was kicking it with looked everything that I wanted to look like, but just was nothing that I wanted. Like it lasted like 7 days. I remember it lasted like, and it was
that's
never
a high
really,
school relationship for real.
It was no conversation about how it ended. We just both
out.
knew this wasn't it. You know what I mean? Like
I'm done.
It's like, but we were just cool friends up until high school. And we never talked about that moment. We never really like voiced that. But long-winded answer to say, which is kind of segues into the confidence thing, which I'm happy to eat. So yeah, that was what that was. It was, I never really like tried to get somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really like, unless, and when I actually tried, it was because I was like losing. And then, and then believe it or not, I had to tell you my wife though, because there was like a trying factor that was never talked about. It was never disclosed, but we all know. I mean, me and, you know, I know, and she kind of knows that there was a thing, that it was an effort that needed to kind of be had for it to be what it is, right? So
I like that. That's fire. It's like, I didn't know until I knew, and then I married her.
I mean, you can look at it that way. I'm really saying like, I knew what I knew with her a while before she knew, a while before she thought I knew, but I was just being in my moment because I knew once this transitions out, it's no more, you can't come here no more, you know, and I want to live that out. I want to say that I did the way I wanted to do it and feel good about it. And so I kept a lot of where I felt, where I stood to the chest until we got to a certain point, you know, and but the things that we had to develop and grow were just like, you know, structure and vision and plan. Like those things were like what became the chase, you know, ultimately.
I feel that.
Those things became like, you know, that way.
So for me, I had two that I can remember. The first one was Olivia from The Cosby Show, which was Raven Simone. And she don't even like men now. So there goes that. The second one was a real live girl. And I know I was in elementary school. I had to be in 3rd or 4th grade. This girl named Rakaya, right? This is why I remember this. Because I remember we were standing in line waiting to be let into the school. And she was on one side and I was on the other side. And she had got cool with the bad kids early. She had transferred to the school. So she had just moved to the town. She got cool with the bad kids early. And somebody leaked my information. I don't know who it was, but she was on the other side. And one of her badass friends was like, somebody told me that Var like you. And she was like, he better not. I'll beat his ass.
Oh, shit.
What?
I was like, well.
Oh, wow.
Well, I got.
This Pensgrove?
Well, this was Salem, New Jersey. This is bad news, nigga. She said, he better not. I'll whoop his ass. I was like, well, I still like you, so I'm just not going to say it out loud anymore.
Just going to keep that a secret.
I want to know what she had today.
I mean, I'm pretty confident she working at McDonald's. You know, no shade to anybody that works at McDonald's.
But did she got a record for whooping ass? Like, I want to
I don't know, man. I don't know. And that was my that was the inception of my little bit of interest in women that are crazy. So there's that. Wow. If you wanted an update, she did not indeed whip my ass. If you were looking for the actual answer, I just didn't say it out loud anymore.
Officially find out.
She did not. That was it. All right. So we have a lot to talk about this episode, but before we get into the main topic, y'all know what time it is.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey, yo, Zoe knows this. Zoe knows that. So light skin. Zoe stay black. Right on.
I know y'all missed that last week. I know they missed it last week.
I know. I should have just did it fresh.
Like, what's the way you ain't do it live?
I don't know. I asked before we started, but we got so into the topic that I was just like, go ahead. Like, I should have just freestyled and did a nice.
So they ain't believing you. They ain't believing the freestyle skills.
They didn't.
That was the issue.
I'm a little rusty, but you know, ain't nobody put a beat on.
We ain't had no beats. We was unprepared, ill prepared, as they say in corporate America.
So it's Zonos, y'all. Welcome back. Back to our normal platform. It was a very roller coaster week. Let's just say that. We had the trial going on, and then we had the verdict. And yesterday, for me personally, which was by the time y'all hear this, it'd be Friday, but Tuesday for me, I had a Ice Cube moment where it's like
today is a good day.
Was a good day. So it started at about 5:10 p.m. when the verdict was released. My anxiety was on 10,000. Like I thought I was gonna have to Willie Beam and throw up like before.
Oh, okay.
I just felt like, I can't. Like, one of those like, come on now, we didn't enough. Like,
it's like, you're doing too much.
Yeah, better come correct with this verdict, or else, like, I ain't gonna do nothing. But like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Kind of deal. Right. Like, so as we know, the verdict came out. Derek Chauvin is guilty on all 3 charges.
All charges.
They ain't even let up. They just said, nope, we don't. Now, the tricky part is the sentencing, because, they might feel sorry for him and try to whatever. I don't want to hear less than 25 years. That's just.
Yeah. If I was reading correctly, none of the charges come with more than 12 and a half years apiece. I think 12 and a half.
Less than 12. No, one of them is 10.
No. The second degree murder has a max of 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I said, that's the first one that they.
He ain't going nowhere near the max, though. We all know he's not getting anywhere.
It's 40, 25, and 10.
Yeah, so that's the max. It's up to the judge's discretion to sentence whatever he deems fit or necessary. But I was like confident. I was very confident that he was going to get convicted on the manslaughter. Like there was no way he wasn't going to get found guilty of the manslaughter. But the issue was, is that really accountability? Right?
No,
there is not.
Oh, I killed him by mistake. My bad.
Yeah, right. So, and that's like 1 to 3 years, and you know what I mean. You get out good behavior in like 9 months, and you go about your day. That's just crazy. So right. I was just worried that, I'm like, hopefully he gets that, the second degree murder charge, because that's a max of 40 years. And I think that can really have the accountability piece, although there's no justice for, in my opinion, I don't look at this as justice.
Right.
Because that was taken away from George when he put that knee on his neck like that. But at least he got found guilty. Now in a couple weeks, he'll be sentenced. But what I do like in the imagery of it is him being walked out and escorted in handcuffs straight to jail, because the judge could have said, get
your affairs in order.
Yeah, and then when we do the sentencing is when you'll be arrested. But they rescinded that bond, and
because they know he's going to kill himself.
I mean,
they all bail out. He still might kill himself.
Nah, I don't think he'll do that until I don't know if he's gonna do the period, but
until he hit the gavel.
I think he'll wait for the sentencing at least, because that dude like 3 years, and then they already got him in like some type of housing unit for his protection. He's not gonna do real time, I don't think. Yeah, I think it'll be less than 10 years for each count, and they'll be served congruently. So he'll do all time at one time and be out, I think, less than 10 years.
It was more than what we expected. It was what we wanted, but more than what we expected. So next we have on the chopping block, besides watching this man walk out, then my Knicks are on a 7-game.
This is not in Zonos, man.
Nah, son, I'm the director of the Zonos. Okay,
I'll give you Knicks love.
Bro, if you tell all this, Knicks don't win this game, so they don't win nothing else.
But tonight, it's a close game. Chill out. Against the Hawks. Atlanta. They're playing the Hawks. James trying to jinx us. Get out of here. Nah, but look. So shout out to them. New York is about to be the mecca of basketball again. Even on not just the Knicks, because Brooklyn. I'm saying like the combination of the two teams is gonna make for sure. You know what I'm saying? New York is
hold on, but not LA because of the Lakers and the Clippers. No.
Well, right now, Lakers and Clippers got. I think West Coast got the Mecca basketball title right now.
They do.
West Coast.
Here go Kev trying to start the East Coast West Coast again.
California has it right now. You got Golden State, LA,
Facts.
both LA teams. It's just like they got that. New York's been under the radar, but they making a comeback. And I see the Knicks too, though, low key.
I like Julius though. I like Julius a lot.
I like his heart. Yeah, I do.
He killing, bro. He is killing. Nah. Sorry, ladies. Stick with us.
So I just had to add that. I know that's not like regular news over here. Okay, thank you very much. And then, first of all, it was happy 420 to everybody, right? So, and stay tuned, yo. We got something right here. See, it says Empire's Club Connoisseur, which I am not. But it's a brand and a company that I'm actually joining and be a part of. So stay tuned for Empire Buds coming soon.
Oh, they headphones?
Nah, not quite. But if you partake in it, you think
but they do get your ears ringing.
Yeah, you think you hearing shit. So shout out to that. And then the Red versus Meth, the versus. Like
you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, because so what I did was I created my own little sports bar, right? Like I had me something to drink.
At your house?
The Knicks on the TV. Yeah, I had the Knicks on the TV on mute, but then I had the Red and Meth playing in the background of the verses. So it was like a little lituation to I don't want to say celebrate, but just to be, accept the moment that we finally had something guilty, even because forever we had camera views.
Right.
They always act like they ain't seen nothing. It was like Ray Charles watching the camera view, like
right.
So, like I said, yesterday was a decent day. Although we did hear later on in the night, there was another incident in Ohio.
Later on, it was an hour later. It was
I felt wild. Like by the time I seen it, but it was like we ain't get no time to.
It was like a head fake. Like it's like, okay, now you in the air. And
I just want to know this. Is everybody else, meaning these other officers, like, are they all under a rock, or is it that they really don't give a fuck? Like, because to me, it's like, how, like the lady that did the joint in
Minneapolis, Minnesota,
right up the block, in Brooklyn Center.
Yeah,
that's the actual town. Like, how do you even remotely have an incident like that, and you're down the block from where there's like you're not even conscious to think twice, like
Yeah, I don't know. That's we can have a whole rabbit hole. We talked about it last week with the yellow taser and all that, but
you see what I'm saying? So it's like it's a repeated thing. Like as soon as we get one little, what they say, one step forward, two steps back.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of deal.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say, like, I don't want, because like you said, we can go down a rabbit hole. So I don't want to even go. What everyone is reiterating, it just needs police reform. Like we need to do something needs to happen to reform the whole policing system and how it operates, how they're trained, a new like first response mechanism that allows for non-lethal force, even if it's just non-lethal bullets being used, because them things will put people down, yo. Them things will put people down. You shoot somebody with a rubber bullet out of a gun.
I'm straight, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, them things
gonna take it
down.
What you was saying? What you was saying? My bad, I ain't hear you. Like you hit me with a rubber bullet.
You wanted me to get in this car right here?
Yeah, like so.
What was you saying? What was you saying, Chef?
No, I was just agreeing with James. Like when you think about it, no one needs to die before being judged, by the judiciary system. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like why do you have to die? I get the private protection aspect of it, but make a decision, call back up, or be a warrior, like
de-escalate.
Like no one needs to die. I think civilly people are going to come to terms realizing that this is a big issue, the process, and they're gonna intervene within the space of detaining. That's going to definitely have to be like looked over in some kind of way. I definitely agree with you with James on that. Like switch the mechanism. You know what I mean? Switch the mechanism.
I'm just hoping that even if that's the case, it's going to be universally accepted. But Zoe, what's your quote for the year? What's your phrase for the year?
Make it make sense.
And none of it does.
Nope.
He came out the car, and 11 seconds later, this girl was dead, bro. 11 seconds later.
Yo, did you see the freeze frame
of the knife?
So, yeah,
that because you know how they're gonna frame it. You know how they're gonna try to
they're
spin
gonna frame
it
like, oh, I was saving one life and sacrificing another type deal. But
right.
I agree.
Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Yeah.
So it's been a crazy week, but small victories, baby steps, and hopefully, like they said, it sets the precedent for other locations to kind of like. I think the combination of that with everyone left and right dropping the qualified immunity is progress. I don't think until maybe like I would say another 10 years from now, things will potentially be a lot better, like more organized and structured. But
right.
In the meantime, I don't want to say I'm complacent because I'm not. I think it's just the beginning. I don't want to say we take what we can get, but I almost feel a little satisfaction, like how, black people felt when OJ was found not guilty.
I think with this situation,
I think that one was for petty reasons.
He was found guilty for a crime that he actually committed that was on camera of him committing, right? It's not even like vindication, in my opinion. You do a crime, right? You do that, you have to pay the consequences for that crime. And he's suffering those consequences of that crime. Whatever his malicious intent was, is in his mind, he has to live with that. But it was on camera. Good thing that girl recorded it from the angles which she recorded it and when she started recording it. But it was on camera. And I think that is what made the difference. And that's what the scary part is for me, is if she didn't record it and they just using the body cams, right, which they can probably alter. I don't know.
Well, did you see the press release? George,
the original one. Yeah.
I just seen it for the first time today, and it made mention of no knee on neck, no contact, none of that. Nope. And it was wild.
And they talking about he died on his way to the hospital. Man, that man was dead on that ground. You never even know in reality what would have happened if she wasn't there to record.
I'm just glad that she was able. Nothing happened to her, because you remember what happened to homeboy that recorded the Eric Gardner joint. They sent him to jail.
Oh yeah, some bullshit.
The NYPD put something on him. He was in jail, and he was able to sue the city of New York after he got out of jail, or they dropped the charges or whatever. But they put something bad on him.
Yeah, that's malicious prosecution. Like they went intentionally.
NYPD that's a whole nother force, boy.
LAPD and NYPD is the Bloods and the Crips. They the biggest. They bigger than them. Biggest gangs in America. But look, how about this? The irony of this. Did y'all know that sergeant, the lieutenant, that the thing happened to, where he got pulled out the car, maced and all, he was in uniform, the black dude?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's related to Eric Gardner.
Really?
That's wild.
Like, you can't make this stuff up. And he's a nuke.
I know that. I seen it on the Kappa page too.
Yeah, like, you can't make that up. So it's like, this is how connected the world is. Like, not only is he related to Eric Gardner, but then George Floyd's girlfriend was the Dante Wright teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, this is weird, yo. Like,
yeah, it's intense.
The world is small, so. But that's the thing for Zono. I think we should just have fun with the verses. Go check it out. It's classic hits. Read them after they think. They had everybody come out. And that kind of just eased my mind for the evening, combined with the edible I took. Thank you for brother follower.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I also enjoyed a few when I was in New Jersey. So before we continue, we're gonna clear the air. We need to have some more black positivity. So I'm gonna play something real quick, just to I feel like this makes every black person happy. We need to just like cleanse the air. Just cleanse the air.
This is music. What do you call it? It's like music sage.
It is. You got to just clear the air. It's like whatever you're doing, just electric slide real quick. Get it out the way. Make sure that y'all are
your plate.
Right.
Barbecue.
Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Just keep it in one hand.
Yeah. Don't lean the chicken will roll.
Nah. Just you got to. Don't drop that biscuit. Don't you dare drop that biscuit. Not on this carpet. Not on this carpet. You better not. So digging into our main topic today, let's get into it. When did you realize you had confidence? Who helped to inspire it? When did you know it? Has it ever been bruised? Has it worked for you? Has it not worked for you? Let's talk about it. So, fellas, the first question is, when did you realize you were, in quotes, that guy? I don't care if it was 6th grade, 7th grade, senior year, college. When did you realize that you were like, oh, I'm all right. I'm all right in the ecosystem? James, I know it's peach butter for you, so you can do it now or later. Let us know.
It was before that.
I bet. Since y'all being modest, y'all. I mean, look, this is. Let me set the stage before y'all go, because y'all acting real modest. This is a bunch. This is a really confident bunch of guys, right? We are on a public platform. The way that we are these days is not who we were when we discovered our confidence. So it's going to take us some time to dig in the archives to figure out who I was back then. I'm encouraging you to go backwards a little bit and to reflect about, when did you find that golden ticket, so to speak, where you knew you were Steph Curry. Every shot you threw up in the air just went in. When did that happen?
I would say my senior year in high school was the first time. Right.
Okay.
So I was still on the low. Like, I wasn't the top popular person, so to speak, because I just didn't really care to be as much as other people did. But when I got my braces off, I cut the braids.
They couldn't hold you. They couldn't hold you.
Yeah. That Colgate came out. I smiled like the Cleveland Indians, and it was a wrap, yo.
That's racist.
Hey, it's just a logo. I'm just going by the logo. So I would say that was when.
How long did you have your braces on?
A year and a half. I didn't. Okay. I wasn't those long-term people, because I actually went to my appointments because I wanted them off. So, like, some people be having like 5-year braces for no reason. Right. That's all their fault. That's nothing to do with the teeth. So I would say I had it for a year and a half, and then I had braids. I had the fro, and then finally I just did a whole like.
Oh, you was Nick Cannon of Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Exactly, 100%.
It sounds about right.
I went from that to Stefan, or I go into the chamber, cut the hair, cut the braces off, and then that's when I started seeing things fall into my lap, figuratively and literally.
James, how about you? Tell us about your 3rd grade experience.
So for me, I mean, it was like, so I got confidence when I got into going from 8th grade to 9th grade, when I got braids. So that's when I first got my hair braided. And
the power was in your hair.
Power was in my hair. This is back in 2001. I'm dating myself.
Samson.
When I was like a freshman in high school. And that's kind of when I started gaining some confidence, and it was just slowly building from there. But I wouldn't consider myself to be, like that dude or anything like that. But then, I guess a change of atmosphere, the culmination of 4 years of, I guess practicing, shot down, practicing a little bit more.
Get your shots up.
Get my shots up.
That's all.
You wasn't going to be shooting in the gym.
They wasn't.
And that freshman year in college, I mean, it just started started blowing up.
So, Chef, you told us a little bit about how you were shy back in the day, but when did the pieces start hitting for you?
I'd say after college.
Okay. This one you was in the zone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was part. We looking for part 1. We gonna get to part 2.
No, I say that because this is when I'm becoming more of. I now know. Like okay. I know the offense now.
Okay.
The
game slowed down for you.
A lot. A lot. Like, I was always playing at a can I get on a field type of level until if you pick me, then cool. And if it makes sense, then cool for sure. But I said after college, for real.
Then it transformed into, I'm supposed to be the franchise player. Practice.
That's when
practice.
That was AI vibes. But, like you guys all said the same thing. I would say, like, as a kid, I kind of always found myself among the kids that were considerably the cool kids, so to speak. Like that was kind of like gravitated toward that environment. Never tried to stand out. I was just didn't want to stand out. I was the type who was tall, that we talked about earlier, that kind of didn't want to be tall. I didn't want the attention on me all the time. I just didn't like that feeling all the time. So I tried to, in a negative way, I dimmed my own light, because I was afraid of like being myself, And so that was who I was up until for some time. Like I kind of like grew into. I did what I did naturally pretty good. I did that, whatever, but I just didn't want to stand out.
I get that. That's similar to me. I'll tell you the first time that I realized what confidence was and when it came in my direction. And I think it coincided with the first time I wanted attention in my direction. I remember it was 2003, I think. Most of my team had got suspended from fighting, right?
What?
So it was wild. I'll tell you that story another time. And I was able to start as a sophomore. The first game of the season, I was on the bench, heavy. I ain't getting no playing time. I was a JV star. And then by the end of the season, JV star. By the end of the season, because half the team was suspended, I got a chance to start. So first game was against Salem, the team that I told you I grew up in Salem. That's where I was used to growing up. I know all those people. First game I ever started in high school, hit 5-3, dropped 20 points. I went to the high school the next day like, I know y'all seen the paper. I know y'all seen the paper. Don't act like you didn't see the paper. Y'all seen the paper. You know what I mean? I was in the lunchroom and the star basketball player on the women's team, I swear, I remember I was getting the milk that I wasn't going to drink. And she was like, 20 points. I see you. I was like, I'm that nigga. I'm that nigga.
Shut up.
You can't tell me nothing. It cool. It lasted about 2 hours, but that was the first time that I was like, I like this. The second, when I realized is similar to Kev. You get a little bit of it in college where you're like, all right, they like me. I don't even know why they like me right now, but they like me. But probably 22, 24, I was in the zone, baby. I know why you like
zone,
me.
baby.
I thought we were gonna wait to talk about the zone.
No, dive in. Okay. Let me wrap this up. When I was in the zone, I realized I'm talking about any interview I went to, any conversation, I know I'm making an impact. I know what time it is. You're not going to forget me. And I knew it back in like 24, 25. But Zoe, when did you know you were in the zone? Like, tell me about the zone for you.
I would say, well, not 25, because at that point I ended my own zone and started having children. I hung up the jersey fairly quickly.
You stayed in the zone too long.
Yeah, pretty much. So I would say I did a MJ. Like, okay, so you know how he did like the 3 years
first retirement,
go play baseball. Yeah. And then came back. I would say my first one was like after we crossed zone. Like I was making all-star games and putting up numbers before I joined the team. You know what I mean? When I was a free agent.
You just got on the right team, and now
exactly. It's like being stuck in like
it's like KD,
Orlando right now, or Washington Wizards now.
Right,
Imagine Bradley Beal when he goes somewhere.
He was still KD, but he on the Warriors now. It's like
so it's like, oh, I got you. So that's what happened. Then like once I joined, it was more light. You know what I mean? More opportunity to put me in places that would do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you ain't have to do no solo missions. We can kind of go by committee.
No.
We can show up as a squad.
Yeah. Exactly. I did a solo, all that beforehand. After a while, I was like, all right. But I would say that age 19 to 20 to 21, right? That year and a half, right?
It should be said that Alonzo did graduate high school early. So you're
I got to
20,
16.
So you were more mature. Right.
Correct.
That's also
I was JV moving to varsity. Like
right. I want to make that clear.
So when I was 18, I was a junior in college, right?
He's only 16.
Yeah. So from 18 to 20, I was on fire. Then I went on a little hiatus. And then when I came back, the Sherm days, James, no. When we lived
so there's some people Sherm means drugs. It was Sherman Avenue in Trenton, New Jersey.
It was probably drugs on the Sherm, but there wasn't the Sherm. Where we lived at, highly likely, yes. But yeah, Sherman Avenue in Trenton, New Jersey. we moved there in summer of 2010. So I would say May of 2010 to December 2011, maybe January 2012. January 2012. That's when I was like, all right, so I did a good solid 2 years again.
Okay. That's mean. I like that.
Because that summer like 09, Var, you know, that was me and you. We was riding. Like
we was out. We was outside. We was outside.
That was you trying to get played.
And that was a time where I just knew what time it was. There's also, to Chef's point earlier, there's also a point where you have confidence, but you don't want to debut it in public. It's like, I'm trying on my confidence. It's like, I know I'm that guy, but do they know I'm that guy? Can they see it? It's like that invisible cloak. Like, do they see me? Because I know what I got going on. So it was like you had to try it on, see how it fit.
For me, it was like from like 18 to 19, and then I got into a relationship from 19 to 20.
And then it was over.
And then from 20 to 23, like when you say like I didn't really want to put my confidence out there, like I was like, nah, I'm gonna be out here. Like I'm being these streets, like letting people know that you need to come talk to me.
Yep, this was James.
Couple little sips. Tilt the head a little bit.
Oh, it was
talking.
over. It was over.
I'm just saying, if you know for that, clearly it worked.
It was. And the thing is, the one thing that you can acknowledge is like a pivotal point in confidence is when your boys know your shooting percentage. When your man is like, nah, he got this, is going in. This is, you know, when Steph shoot it and the whole team do this, they put the threes up before they go in. Like, yeah, my man got this.
You took the words out of my mouth because I'm about to comment on James. Like, yo, Kev should remember this when we was in Cancun. Yo, we would literally be in mid conversation talking, and then all of a sudden we just see a shadow go like this. Like, that's James disappearing. That's James disappearing from the conversation. Like, he ain't say, yo, hold on, no nothing. And then me and Kev turn around with this nigga like this. Gone. I'm like, oh, here we go.
James neutralize the target. Neutralize the target.
Me and Kev like, yo, just watch. Kev like,
James was a shooter for us for sure.
Chef, when was you? What was the zone like for you?
You was around. You was around most of it. I think you added the battery to the back.
See, that part, I was a little upset. I'm like, because at 23, then I got into a relationship.
Yeah. Me and James both. Yep.
Right.
Nah,
and
James,
I'm
James, you don't gotta say you mad. They specifically excluded the light skin.
It happened.
I was about to say that. It was like, nah, y'all getting a relationship.
It was a time and a place. You had to be there. You had to be there.
It was a dark time.
Shut up.
Pretty bright.
Like,
it was very bright.
I felt like, but that time I had from like that, even from 18 to 19, like that first year in college, and then from 20 to 23, I felt like I could have done anything, or I've done everything I could have thought of that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So it was like
you can hang it up.
I had so much fun during that time frame. Like it was.
And not only did he have mad fun, but James always had a fire car. So that kind of makes it. I mean, yes, but that doesn't mean those two things don't equate. Not all the time.
I'm gonna put that out there. Like I had 2 jobs.
He wasn't. He wasn't a drug dealer.
Nah,
he wasn't. You know what, Chef? You had your kiosk job at the mall. Y'all was. They kept y'all nice, bro.
Yo, yes.
They kept y'all nice.
Because of Kev recommendation, like, yo, you need to apply to this job. I'm like, word? Oh, all right.
All I used to hear was commission check. I'm like, what is this?
Yo, bro, them commission checks was real.
That's all I used to hear was commission check. Commission check.
Me and Var over here trying to calculate every hour. At our little $8 an hour. Like,
and I stretch.
I remember that.
Bro, them commit at that age, imagine, at that age.
That's what I'm saying. At that time,
bro, it's in 2008. I'm not even 20. I might have just turned 21, still in college, trying to finish up. My first commission check was like $3,000. Like one check. That didn't include my regular pay. And at that time,
Just the icing on top.
This is at the time frame, well, this is a little couple years later, but we were just hoping to get a job that was $10 an hour. Can we get a double digit $10 an hour job?
That was the best paying job on campus if you paid $10 an hour.
That PNC Bank was the first.
Yo, that is crazy.
You like, oh, now I'm in the double digits.
So then you get a check for like $3,000. This is after taxes. You like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm never leaving this gig.
Yo. And you kept it for a minute. Even when you was good, you was like, let me just get these extra.
He had it as a side hustle.
I was like, I stay on part-time. This is easy money.
Nah, that was wild. But my fault, Chef. We stepped on your point.
Nah, it was fine. I like the direction because he brought me to memory of like the moment. And I forgot I actually told you to get the 18. I remember that now.
Yeah, we sit right in Hazelhurst.
Yeah, I remember
that whole nonsense with the other job. And I'm like, I gotta find another job.
You need to get on this way.
He was like, yo, you already got the iPhone. You like, you know what I mean? It's with AT&T.
You already know it. Yeah.
It's like, yo, just apply to that. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that.
Make it sound so simple too. Like,
just go apply, yo.
He broke it down.
It ended up being that simple though. As soon as I applied, next day I got an interview, or I got the email for the set up an interview, and that was it.
There. So that was definitely cool. For me, it was college. Like I said, like. What that was like was just knowing that I can shoot. I can pull up at half, take 3 forward steps. I knew I had a better range. I knew my range was.
You was Logo Lillard.
Yeah. That was probably the best personality to describe what being in the heat of the moment felt, or being in the moment felt like. Is still low market, but out the way.
Yep.
Like I see you.
Yeah, you were all-star. You were a big fish in a small pond. Like, oh, who's that?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So that was that. But that's what I could think of. That's what brings to memory.
What I was going to say is, I think the interesting thing is, outside of the time that Zoe and James is talking about, all of our confidences, not only with women, but with like life, kind of happened around the same time. Because you can be very, very confident in, with women, but like be super duper insecure when it comes to jobs, other things, dress, like how do you present yourself? So how did being confident in this area, in the zone, so to speak, translate to confidence in other areas? Or did it?
I always felt like I always went for what I thought I deserved, if that sounds right. So I feel like I had more confidence in other things than I did, quicker than I did approaching girls. I feel like approaching girls and trying to talk to girls and shooting my shot, that was tough. That's like I hate hearing that no.
Rejection.
You know what I mean? I feel like I can control, me trying to go for an interview, and I can control how I present myself for that.
At least the girls that you approached didn't say it was going to whoop your ass. So
well, I'm not going through that. But I do think that, as you get older and as you get into different stages of life, I think naturally you will start gaining more confidence to do more things. And I do think if you can truly have the confidence to walk up to someone that you're interested in, no matter what you think they're going to say, if you can have the confidence and not be, because you can do it and be nervous about it, but then I kind of mess things up. But if you could do it and be confident how you're doing it,
there's nothing else you can't do.
That can translate to so much, right? If you can just build up and muster up that confidence and then master it, I feel like that can translate to so much.
For a woman to tell you no in front of her friends, and you walk away feeling like, all right, I gave it a shot. There is nothing else in the world that you shouldn't be able to try.
Listen, that kind of like just
it depends on how though.
Well, this is how I like how I kind of built this up, because back in the day, and I'm dating this, and I want to make sure that we talk about a time frame, because this is what you did during this time frame, and it was okay.
Oh, I know where you're going.
When you go to parties,
oh buddy,
right? And your girls dancing, guys dancing. If you wanted to dance with that girl, you would just walk up behind the girl and attempt to start dancing with them. They would look back at you, see if you were their type, and continue to dancing, or stop dancing and walk away and laugh with their girls. Right?
Or their girl will pull her off if you want.
Which is worse.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
I just feel like that's the hater though. I feel like the girl behaved you. Yeah, if you would have went to dance with her, she wouldn't have cared.
Funny thing is, you was the guy you don't see the girl you're dancing with's face, but you see her friend's face, and her friend's face be like,
yo,
that give you
the thing is, you don't even see the girl face. You just see her moving.
Yeah.
And you like, oh yeah, like I'm trying, you know what I mean? Like, let me see what this about.
Let me catch that vibe over there.
But that was like the first part of understanding and being okay with rejection, because that was hard. You wasn't even talking to them. You were just trying to go get a dance.
And then you had to go again. You had to do it again.
And then it was like, so they get pulled off. And guess what? Your boys are standing right there watching you make the move. And as soon as they jump
you
off
supposed to be the one, you're supposed to be the one to set it off. Yeah. And now you got your opportunity got squandered. Now they can't.
So they done. They're not even trying to jump on nothing. They're not even getting off the bus. Like
you gotta walk around the crowd by yourself, get a couple dances, then get your confidence back up to come back.
And you didn't have drinks back then. We was too young, so you had to just be around. We didn't drink. Awkward, and you didn't have no cell phone because it wasn't on Instagram. You was on your phone doing what?
Nothing.
Yeah, you couldn't. That was usually now today you could play off getting played by getting on your phone, acting like you're doing something.
Nope, nothing.
That was like the start of building up confidence and understanding it and accepting rejection. Right. And then from there, you just keep building, and that's what I mean by just a little bit by little bit. 15, 16, 17, you're building it.
Oh, I thought you were about to say rejected 15, 16, 17 times.
Nah, but VAR,
I've definitely been rejected though. I'm not sitting here fronting about that.
It's funny that VAR brought that up because there was a time frame where him and I would have a pep talk prior to whatever we were doing, whether it was an event we were going to or even just like there was a time we even like holla at someone at like driving down the street.
Oh, now, man.
Part of the confidence that I gained during this time frame that I said part one, right? I wound up getting a newer car. So that does help.
That's when it was a wrap.
Yeah, I got the Max.
Zoe was taking opportunities in all places. He entertained somebody that was the manager at a certain fast food restaurant. And I was like, this dude is cooking. Yes. He is cooking. He issuing left-handed shots. He doing finger rolls. He is out here shaking everybody. There's nothing this guy can't do.
Hey, I just wanted a free McDouble. And them apple pies 2 for $1. That's all I wanted. I ain't know it was gonna
bar like a certain fast food restaurant. Zoe just throwing out the name. I just wanted the McDouble.
My bad.
I was trying to protect my man's anonymity. He's like, nah.
McDowell's. My fault. I wanted the Big Mick.
Yo, but you bring up a good point, Zoe, because another point that I know I tried to get away from this, but here we are again. You know how confident you have to be to pull girls with no car, son? I didn't have a car for mad long.
Was my vehicle.
Chevrolet.
Not Chevrolet. Yo, to those nights that Chef was talking about, it took me mad long to get up to where we was going. Mad long. It took like 2.5 hours from my apartment. Literally, I'm not no exaggeration. Then there a plane, train, and automobile just the ferry, the bus, the train, just to kick it. But I was winning, and I don't know how. I didn't have a whip, and it was all good. I had an apartment, always had an apartment, but I did not have a car. That was when I realized, like, I must be doing something right because ain't no way. This is nuts.
Well, you know what you did? You mastered city life without living in the city, right? So in New York, nobody really has cars anyway, right? It just so happened your ass wasn't in New York, but you made it work. You made it work. And you use confidence, charisma, like having a place. I would take a roof over my head than a car any day. I would
for sure.
Bring in
like, what do you mean? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That's so much. Hold on.
Own place.
My own place.
Like you mean like?
Would you rather have no car and a place, or a place and no car?
Like, could you be a place to be with roommates?
That's the same thing.
No.
To me, A place where is my place.
You mean like not to have a house anywhere to sleep, but like
no. You're not homeless. You're like living at the crib of moms. You're your mom's.
Give me the vehicle.
Exactly.
Word.
Give me the car. What you mean? I can get around.
This right here. This is the drop. This is the question. This is the question right here for the listeners out there. Absolutely, Kevin and I, Lion Brother right there. We know it. Give me the whip. I need to get around.
Give me the crib, bro.
I need to get around.
The crib. I'm inviting the party to me.
I got space, opportunity. I got snacks.
Honda.
Yo, Hotel Honda was a thing.
My point exactly.
But Hotel Honda ain't had no snacks. Hotel Honda ain't had no snacks.
Hey, we got the snacks after.
Up, man. What you mean? What you mean?
Because it got the whip. So where you trying to go?
Yeah, but see, that's impromptu, bro. That's impromptu.
What you talking about?
I get it, but if you
bro,
right and you bagging right on the internet, yo, meet me here, come here. Come on.
I guess because my experience, I was definitely traveling. I was commuting, like I was.
But
driving.
you ain't have to if you would have followed my rule book. But you had a car, so you couldn't be in my class.
Yeah,
I had a car too.
The thing is, I wanted to show off my car too, yo. I wanted people to see the navigation back.
I know you did.
But when did I get that car?
Justice League. Right. James also had the very first iPhone, right? So. James been on technology. I couldn't afford it. I liked it. I just couldn't afford it.
That looks nice.
Oh, I like that. I know all the specs. I ain't got that shit though. So that makes sense. James, you always had the nice shiny things. So you're pulling up like, yeah. You definitely had navigation in 08. You had a system, you had rims,
rear view camera.
Yeah, you had all that a while ago,
with
so I can understand.
iPod, remember the iPod?
And you just it was hidden. Yes, that whole car was confidence for real.
That joint was fire. I ain't gonna
that whole car
I
was
had a
confidence.
car too, but I'm on my like.
Joint got me pulled over 1,000 times though.
Yeah,
but Zoe, to your point, yo, I really wanted to have this conversation about like multiple things around confidence, but we ain't never gonna get there because this is too fun. When you got the Maxima. Instantly, it was like, oh, nah, Zoe in a different league. He in a different league.
I had confidence when I had the Escort, but because I
had
wheels.
to.
So I had like James and Kev's theory of like, well, I got wheels, so how you gonna talk and you had the bus? Like you bust it. You know what I mean? Like no,
they tried.
Can say nothing to me.
They tried.
Yeah. Until VAR broke my roll downs, then I was like,
this was bad.
My confidence sunk a little bit. It started raining. This nigga tried to roll down and pop my whole joint off, and I'm like, yo, seriously? So he said, what you want to do? I'm like, just put it in the cup holder until
oh my God.
So we just gonna keep putting it back on just to roll. Like we ain't going nowhere.
So
that's when my confidence shrunk a little bit. And then when I got the Max, the new whip, I feel y'all. It made my confidence go back up. But I think I ain't have no confidence like having my spot, bro. Having a like my place that I'm paying rent and prideful, and I could cook in kitchen.
I mean, we say the best of two things. We say you either can have a car or not have a spot, or have a spot not have a car.
Yes,
have a spot. Right.
I mean, I have both, but
I mean, we know, but I'm saying. Like,
the determining factor is your location. The spot that I wanted the most, I'm lying, because Prospect wasn't close to nothing, but it was the central location. But when I moved to Broad Street, it was right next to the train station. It was easy peasy. It was not a big deal. So that location allowed me to win. And the place was mad nice. So if they came over, they're like, they didn't even worry about me not having a car. Because they can drive.
All the money in the apartment, you know, like
so to speak.
So come and relax. Come to my resort.
I got Ciroc. I got Ciroc. You like Ciroc?
That was good stuff.
Well, he had exclusive poured in a Ciroc bottle, but that's neither here.
Nah, I was always recklessly spending on Ciroc when I couldn't afford it.
Coco Loso.
That's crazy. Nah, but man, you gotta have a car. Like if you got a roof over your head, wherever, like living at the parents' crib, and you can have a car, or you can live in your own spot and no car, absolutely, I'm taking the car.
Take the car, man, because look, your parents' spot is always gonna be there.
Yep.
Take the car.
You got different parents than I got.
Zoe's parents converted his room to a guest room instantly.
Yeah,
so
and not saying that there was going to be, but if you're staying at their parents' house, you there.
Right.
I don't mean a car at 35 and living at your parents' crib, right?
We're talking about 18 to 23,
early ages. Yes.
Yeah. But we're saying if you have the option, get the car, bro.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie. You can't pull off from the party in your house. That's what you can't do. But
you make mobile homes.
This guy.
I mean, technically,
because two things. I was literally there when Zoe got his car, but when Chef got his car, oh my God, it was a new world. Jasmine, you got to call her by her name.
Oh, my fault.
Look, that car was a different stratosphere. It was like any campus we was on, it was like it was looking. I don't even know what year it was, but it was going crazy. So
yeah, I missed that car, man. I tried to ride that thing out. You asked a good question earlier about translating. And I don't want to circle back, but
go ahead.
It does kind of like go into this a little bit. But confidence does translate. You know, if you can have ultimately it's confidence in yourself. You know, if you confidence results of knowing yourself and being comfortable with yourself and just knowing your ins and outs. And I think the more you kind of are comfortable in your own skin, then you exude more confidence. I think that's the pivotal point too. And I truthfully tell y'all, after college was it for me because that's when I probably did the most discovery of who I really was. And I guess all my experiences culminated at that moment and it kind of helped sum it up. But I really took time to really learn who I was. I had to go through a place of like, you know, recreation, so to speak. And that's when everything kind of clicked. Really.
That's a good point. And I think that with that answer, let's flip it because we've been talking about the great. Has it been times where you were too confident and had to be humbled?
Personally, me, I mean, I think as human beings, we can get aside ourselves. My high school coach said the greatest quote to me in my senior year was, "Never get too high, never get too low," and it stuck with me really. Like it kind of always kind of grounded me because you know if you get too high that you can come downhill real quick, and you know so. I never really got too high on myself, but I don't think I got I think I got high enough on myself. You know, I think I kind of like
played it safe.
That. Yeah, I think I played it too safe, and I think after college was when, you know, I just kind of was just like whenever I just grew. But believe it or not, I think being God fearing has a lot to do with that too. Like you know, like because if you're humble as a person. It's because you know you're not the like what I'm trying to say is like you know that this world is bigger than you, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
You don't necessarily put yourself on this high pedestal because you realize that you're not that important, you know, like
right.
And
the light is on you now, but it can be taken away at any time.
Yeah. So I think that plays a role into that though. But I think I see guys at 20, 18, 25 who are really high on themselves and you just know what the outcome is going to be. Like, you know, that doesn't last long. Like it doesn't.
Yeah. And the thing about that is I can pinpoint two areas. One's professional, one is what do you call it? Personal. I'll be quick with this. The professional joint is when you know that the job is mine, right? Got this in the bag. You thought. Not so much. The second time was, this is back in the days that Chef was talking about, when I had a certain young lady that I brought around that I was like, nah, she a bad one. Ain't nothing going down. I'm that nigga again, right? And then I never forget, bro, it was a phone call conversation. We was rocking for a couple months, and she called me and she was like, yeah, so I met somebody. You met somebody where? Where? What you talk about? Where you meet somebody at? I met people too. Like, what's going on? And she was like, nah, like this is over. This is a wrap. I'm like, I like wrapping gifts. Like I know it's Christmas time. Like I can help with that. And she was like, nah, we're gonna wrap this up. And I was like, all right. Okay. All right. Now, the thing about that is, like, being humbled is a thing, but bouncing back is also like, you got to accept you got to be humble easy. Like, all right, Bet. You got punched in the chin. Cool, right? But it's how you gonna respond after. We all get humbled. We all them got crossed over. Some of us got dunked on. Some of us got rejected from a job. But it's about like, how are you gonna bounce back? So she definitely faded me, but success story. The dude she faded me before she married, so that's good. Maybe that was somebody.
Yeah. For me, it was more like it wasn't like an individual situation. Like that time frame between like 18 and 19, like my first year in college, like there was a perception of me on campus, like that I was way too big for my britches. Like you think you hot shit, like way more than you actually are. Like, so I think my confidence level was like, I think way too high, but that was a perception in my mind. That wasn't it. Like I didn't think,
because you didn't see yourself walking around with the Bluetooth and the braids.
That was exactly
the big white tee.
You walked real confident.
Yeah, and like sometimes I wouldn't talk to people until they spoke to me. And I'm like, I didn't realize that. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, so I had to like knock myself down based upon the perception that people had of me. I'm like, that's not me. And I'm like, shit, I don't know what happened or what I thought was happening.
And you had the Bluetooth, you had the fitted, you had the white tee, and the third door. Scott was out here winning. I was out here winning.
That third door saddle was, I think, I might have to get that for a collection.
Keep it. Resurrect that joint.
That was kind of like, that was a humbling moment, because one, that just was wrong and rude and just insensitive if that's what I was doing. And two, I just had to make sure I come back to reality, because I knew I wasn't, you're not there.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Because like, especially professional rejections, because you go in really feeling yourself. You get told enough that you are that. You start walking like that, and you start talking like that, and you haven't done anything yet. But because you're getting told that, you live in that moment, right? And when you get rejected at a professional level, I think that's good. That's a good humble pie, actually.
Sure is. Because you showed them a lot, and they're like, nope.
But the moment is prepared for another opportunity, and that's the key in that, because you essentially are preparing for something that you're meant for, like the good and the bad is like you mentioned, Var, is how you quickly pick yourself back up. But if you don't realize that humble pie is there for that opportunity, then you sit on that all, you miss that other opportunity, you miss that springboard essentially, so that was a good point you brought. I just wanted to tap into that. Yeah,
no, that's it, bro. That's what it is, because I think that we can talk all day about when we discovered our confidence, right? But the piece of the puzzle that makes it the best is when you were not your most confident, and what did you do about it? Because I think that is the ebb and flow of life, right? I just applied for a role at my company and didn't get it. And I was already doing the work. So there's like, these things happen all the time. Constantly, you may be confident about, even, bros on the call who you putting in bids, thousands of dollars, and that it's like, oh yeah, this is me. And it's just like, it don't work out. But that's the thing that kind of makes you who you are. And you can be as confident as you want to be, but understand that it can go one or two ways. Once you begin to feel like it only goes one way, you need to pack it on in, brother, because it ain't going to work out for you. Everything has two ways to it.
Like confidence is an important aspect in life. It's obviously something I think you can't just like walk out the door and be confident, because everyone has their own insecurities on anything that they have about themselves, about the skills that they think they have or don't have, about, competing next to their peers or stacking up next to their peers. So everyone has some type of insecurity, but it's like Kev said, it's all about understanding yourself, right? And the more you understand yourself and your capabilities, any shortcomings you think you may have, you can work on those and excel at them. And then you can explore the things that you're great at and understand that, and then use those to your advantage. And once you understand that, then your confidence level is going to rise, because you belong, right? And that goes for personal and professional. If you think there's some shortcomings you have with, if you think, oh, I don't look this way, or I want to look that way, X, Y, Z, I don't dress this way, what your shortcomings are. You can fix those, right? And then what you know you're good at. I got a great personality. I'm about to expand on this, and then your confidence level rises. So just make sure that you understand who you are, like Kev said, and work on the things you feel like you have shortcomings with, and explore the things that you know that you're great at, and expand on those. And I think that will help develop your confidence.
Honestly, I don't know if we need to say anything else after that. You didn't sum up the whole pod. Everything's good. You give actionable items for everybody.
Yes. Can I say this though? Like you said, being rejected from jobs or bids or whatever, those things hurt all the time. And it's like, the hell's wrong with these people? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm me.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So I will say this. I think my lack of confidence probably was more so in interacting with, women, because a lot of times I feel like I've experienced where women have go out their way to try to shut you down, destroy you because they have perception of what they think you are.
Yes.
So to me, I'm like, you really got to do all that. Like, so my confidence may not be there, but I will say, and a lot of people will say, yeah, right, Zoe's cocky.
Right, because you're the Zoe was the front running, funny, popular guy.
But my confidence was not there. It's called pride, because I refuse to let somebody. Y'all also know that about me, is like I can't. That whole one up on me or something to say is, I talk too much stuff for people to be saying stuff. So I can't. So my confidence is still maybe in the trash chute, but my pride is at the front door. Like, hold on. So
they don't know.
I'll deal with that on my own. You ain't got to know whether, you know what I mean? That's
right.
That's how I operate, like that. So
that makes sense.
I'll tap in and say this quickly. I like what you guys said, and I'll also say about a big thing about confidence to me is, alongside of everything that we just talked about, is really controlling your emotions, right? And understanding, like, you don't want necessarily emotion dictate how you move. So in controlling your emotions, it's really, confidence is just another emotion, right? And one of the things I'll definitely say is that you want to discover your purpose. You want to change your perception, meaning, recognizing the things that are pulling you down and that are making you feel less confident, and address those areas, or change the perception of that area. Right. Use your passion, fuel your passion, use your passion as fuel, or walk with purpose and passion. That changes the direction of how you navigate the space. Know your value, as we always talk about. Accept your emotions as before, practice positive thinking, and have a strong support system. Practice communication skills, obviously, but have a strong support system. And I just kind of say, those are a good ingredient for developing confidence, right? Because ultimately, it's something you have. It's not something we all said. It's something that you have, but as Zoe mentioned earlier, he didn't have confidence at one point, and then certain things changed in his realm that gained his confidence. So that's how confidence operates. So you got to identify those things and work around that blueprint to build your own self-confidence.
Yo, y'all landed this plane real smooth. This was a very well-rounded episode from the beginning to end. I'm going to end it on an immature note because that's fun. I feel my most confident after a jazz shape up.
Your haircut.
Talk about the cuts. Yeah,
right. So I want to make note that we made it through a confidence episode while not speaking about Kappa Alpha Psi. If you are trying to join a fraternity, don't let that dictate your confidence, you fucking loser. Be confident before you get there. Be confident before you get there. I ain't trying to hear it. But I love that. We're four noops and we were those guys, and we didn't speak about that experience at all in terms of building our confidence. And that's how you know what I mean? That's destiny. So
can't nobody take my pride. Can't nobody hold me down. There you go, right there. That's where I got the confidence.
Nah, you're right. So I'm about to get on out of here. But before we do, I'm kick it over to Zoe for the Serenity Prayer.
Well, it's kind of ironic that in the Serenity Prayer, we say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, like getting played, other people's perception of you, and all that good stuff, right? To accept the things that we can right? And to know the difference between the two. So there you go with the serenity prayer. It's like right on target. We can't control what you can control. You can build your confidence. You can't control what others think or feel, but just stay the course.
I love it. And with that said, I know y'all missed this last week too. That was episode 40 of the Juxtaposition Podcast. We out of here.